Have you ever felt like the ocean was pushing you back no matter how hard you swam? Have you ever done everything right, planned every move, prepared for every wave and still watched it fall apart? Have you ever chosen a path and then sat alone in the dark water wondering if you just made the worst mistake of your life? We all carry that weight. The current that pulled us under, the door that closed before we could reach it, the version of ourselves we were supposed to become, the one that never arrived. But what if the thing that stopped you was not against you? What if every wrong turn, every forced detour, every loss that left you hollow was not the end of your path, but the beginning of the only path that was ever truly yours? Stay until the end, because what you are about to hear might change the way you understand everything that has already happened to you. My name is Kabir, and I watched this story unfold in the depths of a sea where the light lives at the top and the darkness grows below, and where every creature decides every single day which direction they will swim. Kai was a small fish, not the fastest, not the largest, not the most gifted swimmer in the reef, but there was one thing inside him that the others did not carry, a question that would not let him rest. The question was simple. What is beyond that rock? The whole school lived on this side of the great reef wall. The water was warm. The food was reliable. The predators were known. Safety was real. But every morning Kai would drift to the edge and look at that wall and feel something pull at him from the other side. Not a sound, not a voice, just a feeling. The kind of feeling that tells you your real life is somewhere you have not been yet. His mother said, "Stay here." The elders of the school said, "The open water is dangerous, Kai. The currents are unpredictable. The creatures out there do not know our rules." And Kai listened because Kai was afraid. The way we are all afraid when the safe thing and the right thing are not the same. But one morning he woke before the others, and before the fear could speak louder than the feeling, he swam. He crossed the wall, and the ocean on the other side received him in complete silence. For the first hour, everything was exactly as he had dreamed. Open blue water, colors he had no names for, space in every direction, the kind of beautiful that feels like a promise being kept. Then the current changed. It did not change slowly. It changed the way things change when they have been building for a long time, all at once, without warning. The water began pulling in the opposite direction, hard and cold and indifferent. Kai swam against it. He pushed with everything he had, but he was not moving forward. He was barely staying still. His fins ached. His body was slowing. He found a large rock and pressed himself against it, letting the stone take the force of the water. And in that stillness, he heard something from deep inside himself. A small voice that said, "Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I should have stayed where it was safe. Maybe the elders were right and I was just foolish enough to believe I was different." But then something happened that Kai had not expected. Behind that rock, where the current could not reach, the water was completely still. And in that stillness, in that exact pocket of quiet that the storm had created, there was food. A kind of dense, rich nourishment that never drifted to the reef side of the wall. The current had pinned him in place, and that place turned out to be exactly what he needed. The storm that stops you is not always against you. Sometimes it holds you exactly where you need to be fed. The next morning, Kai swam slower. Not from fear this time, from attention. And it was this slowness that made him see Maya. Maya was a fish, but her left fin had not grown the way fins are supposed to grow. From birth it had been smaller than the right, slightly bent, and weaker in the water. She was not swimming when Kai found her. She was hovering very still near a cluster of coral, watching the water move around her the way a reader watches a page. Kai felt something when he saw her. He felt sorry for her. He thought, poor Maya. How does she survive out here with a fin like that? He swam closer and asked if she was all right. Maya looked at him calmly and said, "There are 3 hunters coming from your left, the blind corner behind the blue coral. You have about 30 seconds. Kai turned. He saw nothing, but something in her stillness made him trust her, and he moved right without thinking. 90 seconds later, 3 large fish crossed the exact space where he had been standing, gliding silently through the water, scanning for prey, finding nothing. Kai came back to Maya and asked how she had known. She was quiet for a moment, then said, "When you cannot swim straight, you learn to read the current. When you cannot move fast, you learn to listen to the water before it moves. My fin is bent, but that bent fin taught me to feel things you swim past without noticing. What you call my damage is what keeps me alive out here." Kai looked at her differently then, not with pity, with something closer to awe. What we think makes us less sometimes makes us more, just a different kind of more than we were taught to recognize. Maya told Kai there were 2 ways forward. The first route was direct, deeper water, darker but a straight line to the open sea. The second route looped around, shallower and lit by the surface, but it added half a day to the journey. Maya told him gently, "The direct route has thick seagrass in the middle section. A fish your size can get tangled. The longer way is safer." Kai listened, he nodded. And then, in the confusion of reading the current and watching for the hunters, he took the direct route by mistake. He did not realize it until the water darkened around him and the grass began closing in. He slowed, then slowed again. The grass was exactly as thick as Maya had warned. He pushed through it carefully, a centimeter at a time, and the whole time he was moving through that resistance he was thinking, "I chose wrong. Again. Every time I make a choice out here, I choose wrong." But then the grass ended. And on the other side of it there was something that should not have been there. A natural tunnel, carved by the coral over centuries, walls of deep red and pale violet, lit from within by bioluminescent creatures that clung to the stone and glowed without effort. Through the end of that tunnel, Kai could see the open sea. Not just a direction toward it. The entire shape of it, the depth map, the light zones, the routes a small fish could take and survive. His wrong turn had given him the blueprint. Wrong turns do not end journeys. Sometimes they show you the map that the right road keeps hidden. On the 3rd day, near the edge of the open sea where the water shifted from pale blue to a darkness that had no bottom, Kai found the old turtle. He was moving so slowly that at first, Kai thought he was drifting, but he was not drifting. He was watching. His eyes were open and completely still, taking in everything the water was doing without reacting to any of it. Kai swam beside him and asked quietly, "Where are you going?" The old turtle did not answer immediately. He let the questions sit in the water between them for a long moment. Then he said, "I have already arrived." Kai looked around. There was nothing here. No reef, no school, no destination visible in any direction. He said, "But there is nothing here." The turtle said, "Yes, that is what arriving looks like when you understand it correctly." Kai waited. The turtle continued, "I spent 60 years swimming toward things. I swam hard. I arrived at many places, and every time I arrived I looked around and felt the same thing. A quiet emptiness, a sense that the real place must be slightly further ahead. I kept swimming. I kept arriving. The emptiness kept following me. Then one day, very late, I understood something. The emptiness was not at the destinations. The emptiness was in me because I had been swimming through my life without ever being inside it. Every current I felt, every creature I passed, every color the water made at different depths. I missed all of it because I was always looking ahead. I traded 70 years of living for the idea of arriving. And the idea, when I finally held it, weighed nothing." Kai looked at the old turtle's eyes and saw something he had not seen in any creature since leaving the reef. Not regret, something older and quieter than regret. A kind of understanding that can only be made from equal parts time and pain. The destination is not where life is kept. The destination is simply where the road ends, and only those who are awake on the road can understand what the ending means. On the fourth morning, Kai reached the open sea, the deep blue water that he had seen only as a shape on the other side of the reef wall. He was inside it now. He turned in every direction. He looked up, and the surface was a moving sheet of light. He looked down, and the darkness had no floor. He was there. He had done the thing he set out to do. And the feeling that settled in him was not the feeling he had expected. It was not triumph. It was not the relief of having been right all along. It was something quieter and more permanent, a recognition. The recognition that the best things that had happened to him on this journey were not the moments he had planned. They were the current that stopped him and fed him. Maya's bent fin that saw what his straight swimming could not. The wrong tunnel that showed him the map. The old turtle's words that arrived exactly when he was empty enough to receive them. When Kai returned to the reef 2 weeks later, his mother met him at the wall. She looked at him the way you look at someone who has come back as more than they left. She said nothing for a long time. Then she said, "You look different." Kai said, "The ocean changed me." She said, "How?" He said, "It took things from me, and every time it took something, it left something better in the empty space. I just had to stop trying to hold on to what was being taken. Like Kai, you have been pushed back by a current that felt like it was against you. Like Kai, you have met your own version of Maya, someone the world dismissed, someone whose damage turned out to be a kind of wisdom your strength alone could never develop. Like Kai, you have taken the wrong tunnel and sat in the resistance of it and been certain you had failed, and the other side of that resistance held the map you needed. And like Kai, you may have been swimming so hard toward arrival that you have been moving through your own life without being inside it. Your losses are not punishments. Your detours are not failures. Your timing is not broken. The things that did not go as planned were not errors in the design. They were the design written before you arrived, in a language that pain translates and time confirms. Suffering that goes nowhere is just suffering, but suffering that redirects you, that strips away what was wrong so that what is right can finally reach you, that is not a wound. That is the most precise navigation system in the world, operating exactly as it was built to. Nothing that broke you for nothing. Every door that closed was closing you toward the room that was always yours. You are not behind. You are being routed. If this story reached something in you, if it named something you've been carrying but could not say out loud, then you already know who in your life needs to hear it. Someone is out there right now, pressed against the rock, waiting for the current to stop, certain they made a mistake. Share this with them. Let Kai's water carry what your words might not reach. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what is the wrong turn in your life that you are still trying to understand? Because sometimes the meaning arrives late. But in every ocean, in every current, in every story that ends the way this one does it, always arrives